Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Now in today's video, we're going to check out Realme's latest mid-range device, and that is the Realme 12 Pro Plus 5G. Now I've actually had the opportunity to use this device for 2 to 3 weeks now, and if you've missed out on the Malaysian launch, the price for this device, the one that I have in hand, is around the region of 2,000 ringgit. And my device, my spec today is actually the top spec variant, which comes with 12GB of RAM and 512GB of internal memory. So what is this phone all about? It's got a really cool design and of course a couple of interesting cameras at the back. Let's go through the video to find out. Alright, first and foremost, let's start off with that Periscope telephoto lens. Now Realme is going all in by even saying that a flagship phone isn't a flagship phone without a periscope lens. So they actually fitted a periscope lens into this mid-range device. Now what we have here is actually a 64 megapixel unit. It comes with OIS, so whenever you're zooming in, it's going to be very stable. Sometimes you take zoom shots and everything is a bit shaky. You won't find that there on the Realme 12 Pro Plus 5G. Now in terms of zoom, it does 3 times optical, 6 times in sensor, and all the way up to 120 times digital. Now obviously I would say that the sweet spot lies between the 3 times as well as 6 times. I was actually at a restaurant and I noticed that the KL Tower and Twin Towers was just away from me. So naturally I pulled out the 12 Pro Plus 5G from Realme and started taking a couple of shots. Now what I noticed here is that during 3 times, it's actually a lot of detail that's being captured by the phone itself. And if you go to 6 times, you notice that even though it is in-sensor zoom and not the optical zoom, but you're still again able to capture a lot of detail with very natural colors. So if you're looking for something around this price range, I noticed that there's not a lot of phones at this price range here in Malaysia that actually comes with a telephoto periscope lens. This is actually something that you might want to consider. Alright, now moving on, since we're talking about cameras, the main sensor here is also quite an impressive unit. What we have here is the 50 megapixel Sony RM1X99, again comes with OIS. So if you're going to take photos during the day as well as at night, again, this sensor has been proven. It's on a lot of other mid-range devices. So again, you're going to be getting some pretty good shots here. Alright, now what's cool is that Realme actually added in a couple of fun stuff to the camera experience by putting in a couple of cinematic film filters. So what we have here is called the Journey, the Maverick, as well as the Memory. And you might notice that these filters are actually named after a couple of movies. But once you use those filters, a couple of them actually look quite nice to me and suits my kind of photographic styles. I mean, I did like a couple of them, and I noticed that the one called Maverick actually matches my kind of color tone. So yeah, you can have some fun with the camera itself. Now, one final thing to mention here is that the camera is actually developed together with Qualcomm to come up with this omnifocal master shot algorithm. So again, at the end of the day, you're getting a really strong set of cameras at the back here on the Realme 12 Pro Plus 5G. Alright, so having said all that, let's move on to the performance side of things. Now this device is being powered by the Snapdragon 7S Gen 2. It's a 4nm unit, that means that it's going to be very efficient. The good thing here is that it's slightly more powerful than the predecessor. So previously we actually had the Dimensity processor going on, but it's good to see that Realme is back with the Snapdragon devices. I know a lot of y'all actually support Snapdragon processor, and again, it's good to see them here on the Realme 12 Pro Plus 5G. Like I said, in terms of RAM, it comes with 12GB, and you can also expand it by an additional 12GB. So this will give you a lot of fluidity whenever you're navigating through multiple apps. And storage-wise, 512GB is definitely, I think, sort of like a benchmark to get in 2024, especially if you're going to be using the camera a lot to take a lot of photos as well as videos. Now, battery life-wise, we do have a 5000 mAh unit in this very slim body, and it does support that 67-watt SuperVOOC charging, which does like 0 to 100% in about 48 minutes. Now, one good thing I noticed about this phone is that the battery life actually held up very well. So again, if you're looking for a phone with a good battery life, this is also something that you might want to consider. Alright, so having said the camera as well as the performance, I think a very big elephant in the room is actually the design. When you first pick up this phone, the first thing you will notice is actually the design, and let's talk a bit about that. Alright, so what we have here is actually a design that is actually inspired by a luxury watch. Even the designer of this design is actually a luxury watch designer, and it doesn't take a genius to guess, like which watch this phone is designed after. Obviously, if you're not into the watch game, you might not know, but the color itself is called submarine blue. Go and try and Google that and see what watch comes up. And in terms of the entire design, we do have this very nice premium vegan leather at the back. I don't even use a case with it because it's very grippy, perfect for using. And if you just zoom in to the top half section, now what we have here is actually a golden ring with precise cuts on the raised bezel. And if you look closer to the lens itself, there's even a polished sunburst dial that surrounds the camera lenses. And again, this looks just like those on a luxury watch. Now if you just go into a bit more detail, there's a long golden strip that goes down the middle, and overall I think this design This colorway is definitely something that's very unique as to what you're seeing in the industry today. Now, last but not least, we must not forget about the curved display at the front. Now, what we are having here is actually an AMOLED display. It's obviously 120Hz, that means everything is going to be very smooth. The key highlight is that it does come with that 2160Hz PWM dimming, so if you're going to be watching like a Netflix, you're going to be watching your Disney Plus on your phone at night, you don't have to worry about too much strain on your eyes. Now, this is very important because I do that a lot. Alright, so in a nutshell, what can you expect from this guy? Is this the phone for you? Well, I would say that if you are in the market with sort of like a mid-range kind of budget, around 2,000 ringgit, you might want to consider this device. It comes in a beautiful package, again with those very strong efforts from Realme in terms of the camera department. If you have any further questions, feel free to leave a comment down below. Thank you for watching all the way to the end. Thank you for your support and I look forward to seeing you all in the next one. Do take care and stay safe. Bye bye.